Pursuant to Clause 13 of Rule 1, the House stands adjourned until 2 p.m. on Friday, October 24, 2025.
MAGA Mike Johnson just got served with a massive lawsuit as he was leaving the House of Representatives. They were gaveling out, shutting down the House of Representatives for yet another day. And Adelita Grijalva, the Democratic Congresswoman-Elect for Arizona's 7th Congressional District, well, a lawsuit was filed on her behalf by the Attorney General of Arizona, Kris against MAGA Mike Johnson, against the MAGA Republicans for refusing to swear in Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva, as MAGA Mike Johnson and the Republicans in Congress do not want that 218 signature on the discharge petition that could result in the release of the Epstein files. Congresswoman-elect would be that 218th signature. Now, I mean, her election was what, almost 30 days ago at this point, and MAGA Mike refuses to swear her in. This is absolutely unheard of. Here's the headline as we reported it from the MeidasTouch Network News. Arizona Attorney General Kris and Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva have sued the United States House of Representatives and MAGA Mike Johnson in federal court in Washington, D.C. over Speaker Mike Johnson's refusal to swear in Grijalva. And again, we said Grijalva would be the 218th vote in the discharge petition. Attorney General Kris of Arizona just issued the following statement. Let's be blunt. This is taxation without representation. That's why today, alongside Congresswoman-elect Grijalva, we sued the House of Representatives. And this is Adelita Grijalva's post. Attorney General Mays and I are going to court to ensure that the 800,000 Arizonans in Arizona's 7th are no longer silenced. Speaker Johnson's obstruction has gone far beyond petty partisan politics. It's an unlawful breach of our Constitution and the democratic process. You're looking at the lawsuit right here, State of Arizona and Adelita Grijalva versus the United States House of Representatives. And the lawsuit is brought also against the Sergeant at Arms in his official capacity as a proxy for MAGA Mike Johnson, because MAGA Mike Johnson has ordered the Sergeant at Arms to refuse from discharging the ministerial task of swearing in Adelita Grijalva. Now, Grijalva and Kris warned MAGA Mike, we are going to sue you, MAGA Mike, if you continue to engage in this blatant violation of the law. They made good on that threat. The lawsuit has been filed in the United States District Court, in the Federal District Court, in the District of Columbia. You take a look at the lawsuit right here. This case is about whether someone duly elected to the House who is indisputably meeting the constitutional qualifications of the office may be denied her rightful office simply because the Speaker has decided to keep the House out of, quote, regular session. If the Speaker were granted that authority, he could thwart the people's choice who should represent them in Congress by denying them representation for a significant portion of the 2-year term provided by the Constitution. Fortunately, the Constitution does not give that authority to the Speaker or anyone else, right? If this Constitution gave MAGA Mike that authority, what would stop him from just saying, I'm going to close down Congress forever, and we're swearing in nobody, and we're never going to have Congress members ever again, right? That doesn't make any sense. Perhaps in MAGA Mike's little fascist world with Donald Trump, it makes sense, but not in our world. Earlier today, MAGA Mike said that he has no strategy at all about this or about the government shutdown. He's refusing to speak with Democrats, yet alone even negotiate with them. The MAGA Republican Congress members are on vacation. He ordered them, do not work, because he wants to shut down Congress so that they don't have to swear in Adelita Grijalva, because she would become the 218th vote to release those Epstein files. Here's what MAGA Mike said earlier today. Play this clip.
The calculus and the strategy on when I bring everybody back, people have said, are you going to change your strategy? And I've said to you all very plainly in good faith, we don't have a political strategy here. I don't have a strategy. We're just trying to do the right thing. We did what has been customary here.
Really, MAGA Mike, you have no strategy as 20 million Americans are about to lose their health care, as you're giving $40 billion to Argentina, as Donald Trump is demolishing the White House, literally defacing and decimating the East Wing of the White House. You have no strategy? No strategy, MAGA Mike? Well, you just got sued, MAGA Mike. By the way, this was Adelita Grijalva earlier today. Here's what she said during a press conference, that she doesn't have access to basic constituent services to do her job. 800,000 Arizonans in her district in Arizona 7th are being deprived of representation while being taxed. Here, play this clip right here.
And for, I think this is the 5th time that a member of Congress has tried to get some recognition in order to have me sworn in. Today is day 28 since my election. And I think that it's really important that we appreciate that 812,000 Arizonans do not have representation in Congress. My dad passed away a little over 7 months ago in March. And since that time, the offices were able to provide constituent services. It was the People's Office of Arizona CD7. On September 23rd, those services ended. And so I do not have access to provide services in district. And I think that I also don't have a budget. So this coming back and forth is on my miles that I had stored up because I don't have a budget. I'm not able to open a lease in district.
I want to bring in Arizona Attorney General Kris Mayes, who filed this lawsuit on behalf of Adelita Grijalva, and Grijalva is also one of the plaintiffs in this case. Attorney General Mayes, talk to us about this lawsuit that was just filed.
Well, we just had to sue, the House of Representatives. Speaker Johnson has refused, as you know, to swear in Adelita Grijalva, who is the duly elected member of Congress from the 7th District in Arizona. We have 813,000 Arizonans who are being taxed without representation. As you know, we fought a revolutionary war over that issue. And Speaker Johnson has no right, we allege in this lawsuit, to deny her seat in Congress. It's been 4 weeks since she was elected. And we're asking a judge to declare that if Johnson won't swear her in and won't do his job, that someone else, like a judge or a notary, who has the power to swear people in, can do it, and then she would become a member of Congress.
Talk to us about the efforts to try to avoid this or to resolve this through normal channels. And you gave multiple warnings to Mike Johnson. Let's just do this the right way. We don't want to have to be forced as the state to sue. It also is just, you're not swearing in somebody. It's a bad look for the House of Representatives as a body, but he ignored the warnings and you said time's up.
Yeah, exactly. It's a terrible look for him and for them. And, he gave a half a dozen different reasons for why he wasn't swearing her in. At first he said, well, he'd swear her in at any time. And then he said, well, no, we can't do it because we're in a pro forma session. And then he said, well, we'll do it when there's more pomp and circumstance. We just want him to do it. And there's no legitimate reason that he's not doing it, except, of course, the fact that she has said she'll be the last vote on the Epstein files discharge petition. I suppose that's one reason. It's not a legitimate one. It's not a constitutional one, and it violates the law. So it's a pretty dangerous precedent that would be set if we didn't file this lawsuit and if we allowed him to continue to deny the people of Arizona our full delegation in Congress. And so that's why we felt like we had to. But you're right. I sent him a letter. I made comments through the media saying, let's just do this. It's my understanding that Adelita is actually in Washington, D.C. right now. And so he could walk right over to her office and swear her in.
So talk about the next steps. Lawsuits filed in the federal court in District of Columbia on behalf of the state of Arizona and Adelita Grijalva. Does it get fast tracked? How do we expedite this process so it doesn't get on one of these 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, because there are real issues. It's taxation without representation, and we're in a government shutdown. So constituents need to access their congresswoman.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. So we're going to be really cognizant of the time and, the fact that we would like this to obviously be resolved by a judge as quickly as possible. So we'll be, following this very closely. We've asked for a declaratory judgment in DC. We think that was the right place to do it. And we think we've sued the right entities and people to avoid any unnecessary delays. But yeah, I mean, we have a member of Congress here, or someone who should be already sworn in, who can't help people here with the flooding issues we've had in her district, who is unable to help people with their veterans benefits, who's unable to help people with their Social Security benefits. She can't even get an email address. They've given her an empty office, but, it's time for them to swear her in. It's been more than 4 weeks since she was elected with, by the way, more than 70% of the vote. This is outrageous, and it really does set a dangerous precedent going forward.
One of the things that I like that you did in this lawsuit is you anticipated the arguments that Mike Johnson's likely going to make, where he tries to cite, the Pelosi precedent was this. There's a footnote where you said it's not even comparable. Like, you're just making things up. That wasn't a Pelosi precedent. Never before, ever, was there a situation where the speaker just outright refused. In the Pelosi examples, they were collaboratively working with the member of what's the best day for you. Yes. And I think that member was like, my family can all make it together on this date, so I'd like it on this date. So he goes from taking like things that were done collaboratively to then weaponizing it as though and by the way, even taking that, we're already well past that. I mean, is his game plan just to like forever never swear her in? It's like a bizarre, he's not thinking this through. It's just strange.
Exactly. You have to wonder, based on the fact what you just said, which we're already beyond the amount of time that it took in that so-called Pelosi principle or example. And again, that was somebody who they had determined a date. That was the date that the member of Congress had chosen. And so, he's just not telling the truth. Mike Johnson is lying to the people of America. Clearly, I mean, this is a guy, remember, who swore in 2 Republican members of Congress lickety split. And that was in May, in exactly the same circumstances where, they had been in a pro forma session. We've been through, I think, multiple pro forma sessions at this point. And, the speaker could swear her in right now if he wanted to. He just refuses to do it. And that violates the law.
Before we go, anything else that you think the people need to know or the Arizonans need to know? I mean, you're fighting for an important principle here that is important for Congresswoman Grijalva. But frankly, whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, I mean, this should be something that is non-controversial.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up. And this is a district that does have Republicans, independents, and Democrats in it. And so we have people of all political parties who are unrepresented right now in Congress. Again, taxation without representation. And, we wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be filing this lawsuit if A, I wasn't serious about it, and B, we didn't have people in Arizona who are being actively harmed. We do have people in Arizona who are being actively harmed by Mike Johnson playing politics and trying to, apparently protect the Epstein files. That's not okay. And we're going to fight as hard as we can to put an end to it and to get Adelita Grijalva sworn in.
Attorney General Kris Mayes from Arizona. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ben.
Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.